Does size really matter? Yeah, when you're carrying a gun, it does. But not for the reasons you might think. Before we answer this compelling question, I want to let you know we have a gun giveaway going on. It's happening right now. It's absolutely free, but it ends really soon. So all you need to do is click the link in the description down below to find out which brand new gun you could win. Let's talk about this a little bit here, and I got some what I would call non-typical firearms that I will use as demonstration purposes here. The size of a gun, does it matter when you're carrying the gun? Well, in performance aspect, maybe the caliber does. Maybe that impacts what you're doing and how you can shoot it and stuff like that. Size certainly does matter if you're talking about carrying a gun. We'll make sure that this PPK size pistol here is clear, and understand that the smaller gun is going to be easier to carry, lighter, easier for you to conceal, easier to carry around with you all day. But don't fall into the trap that a small gun is something you absolutely have to have because you're a smaller statured person or a woman or something like that. Because there's an old saying in the physics community, you can't get something for nothing. So if you get a really small gun, even loaded with 380 rounds, the lightweight gun is not going to absorb as much of the recoil. It's going to take more of that energy is going to transfer through the gun and into your hand. So you may have less comfortable. I'm not going to say it's more powerful. I'm going to say that the felt recoil from a smaller gun may be less comfortable for you when you're shooting that gun. So that might discourage you from training with that firearm because it's just not comfortable to shoot. It's a gun that's comfortable to carry all day, but boy, when it comes down to shooting and training with that gun, if you're not going to be proficient with it, well, should you really have it? On the other side of the spectrum here, the Smith & Wesson Model 10. This is a full-size, duty-size revolver with the heavy barrel. Yep, it is a big, heavy, all-steel gun that, honestly, putting this on your belt, I don't know that I would carry this with an inside-the-waistband holster. I'd use an outside-the-waistband holster to make sure that this gun is firmly supported. It's more difficult to carry. It's more difficult to conceal. It's heavier. It's more annoying when you have a great big gun on your hip or in your shoulder holster or something like that. But it does happen to be a little bit more controllable under recoil. A bigger gun is more comfortable to shoot. That full-size Glock 17 fills up your hand. Your pinky's not underneath there trying to find some position where it's more comfortable for you to shoot. A bigger full-size gun is more comfortable to shoot and tends to be a little bit more accurate, easier to shoot more accurately. I'm not going to say the gun is more accurate. It's easier for you to shoot the gun more accurately, which is why in competition, you almost always see full-size guns, big guns with big grips in the open classes of competition. If you're going to shoot a concealed carry class in some sort of competition, that's when things get a little bit more iffy, if you will. The groups tend to open up a little bit, and sometimes the times are slower because it's more difficult to shoot a smaller gun accurately and quickly. Again, the larger full-size guns, the full frame, the large frame autos and large frame revolvers and stuff like that, very easy to control, especially for people who have bigger hands. And again, now it comes back down to body type. Is this great big gun going to be worthwhile, going to be easy for a smaller statured person to operate? If they can get their hands around it and reach the trigger properly and have enough hand strength to pull the trigger through the double action mode, yes, it's going to work. But it's all up to individual choice. But again, that choice comes with trade-offs. So that all comes down to the individual choice and what you are comfortable carrying, what you are comfortable and competent shooting, and what you want to have on your person all day long and what you want to be able to defend yourself with should things suddenly go bad. So yes, there are differences in size, certainly, and those trade-offs come depending on what you want, your physical attributes, and what you are comfortable carrying all day and comfortable and competent shooting with. Should something go south, you need to effectively use that firearm. So finding the right balance between size and caliber and style and carry method is all going to be intensely personal. This is your life we're talking about. If you don't have your gun when you need it, you will die. There's no two ways about it. That's how it works. When you really need a gun, the only thing you need is a gun. So I want you to carry a gun that you will carry every day. How you do that is completely up to you, whether it is a full-size all-steel 6-shot revolver or whether it is a compact single-stack slim-line auto-loading pistol in 380 ACP or 32 ACP or whatever it is that you think you are going to use to defend yourself effectively. And again, let's open the caliber debate can of worms. Okay, what's the smallest caliber I think people should use? Yes, there are 32 ACP pistols out there. No, I wouldn't want to get shot with one. And yes, I would shoot you if you were pointing one at me, but it's probably not the most effective self-defense round out there. So 380 might be the smallest caliber that I would recommend, but you know what? 380 ammunition is a little bit more expensive and a little bit harder to find. 9mm works well. And typically, any gun that folks are making in 380, they're making something of very similar size in 9mm. So depending on the size that you want to carry and depending on your ability with that firearm, you make this decision personally for yourself. Want to know the 3 biggest mistakes when carrying a handgun? Then click on the video next to me to reveal all 3 mistakes. Mistake number 2 may shock you. Everybody has their own cardinal rules for what they're going to do when they're carrying a gun, but right now I'm going to give you 3 things that you must never do